When you start the sustainability journey of your company, people come up with many ideas, and that's great. They have fantastic ideas like collecting waste at the beaches, like sorting your company's waste, like planting trees, or like having more vegan food for your canteen. While this is absolutely great, there's also a slight issue with that. And that's that you only have so much time and money to do actions. And this is why it really makes sense to focus on the most important topics for your company, where you can have the biggest impact possible. But how can you find out about the biggest impact for your company? This is different for every company. I find it useful to first plan the full sustainability journey for the company and then plan the roadmap. Hi, I'm Anne. I want to share my knowledge so that you can make your company more sustainable. This includes techniques, tactics, tools, and how to mobilize your organization. I will show you how I usually plan the roadmap process and how I determine the biggest impact possibilities. First thing I want to do is to execute a simple inventory of the company. I want to find out about sustainability initiatives, about tools that have been used, about anything that's going on, maybe even some intellectual property regarding sustainability. So first I want to see what is there. In the second step, I want to identify all the stakeholders around the company. So I want to find out who's got something to say. This could be, of course, employees, it can be the management, it can be customers, NGOs, and everyone around the companies. Also people living around the company side. There's a lot of opportunities, and this is also, of course, different for each company. The third step will be to find out about the people within the company. I want to detect all the people that are interested in sustainability, who are motivated, maybe the networks that are already established, and ways to engage with those people. I also want to find out about key people who hold positions in the different departments of your company. So people in procurement, in management, in legal, in HR, and in production. I need to get those people involved and find out who might be interested to joining a task force. In my opinion, this is one of the most important steps because I need people who support the sustainability strategy. This is no thing that one person can do alone. It needs to be a task force, a group of motivated people who are open to change and who want to drive sustainability within the company. Now that you conducted the inventory, you know about your stakeholders, and you also know about the most important people within the company for the sustainability strategy, you can finally start to draft about which are the most important topics for your company. This is a very important step, and I'm planning to do a separate video on that because it is such a big topic. So if you know which should be your priority topics, then you can start drafting the initiatives. This is sort of an idea collection, and this is where all the task force people, the motivated people, come into place. Each of those people have ideas, and now that they know which are the target topics that they should be focusing on, they will find ideas that match to these topics. Also, you can start an ideation process within the company so that in the end you collect even more ideas and get everything together. Step 6 would be to prioritize these ideas. There are some ideas which might be easy to do and fast to do, and there are some ideas which take more time. And then there are some ideas which have bigger impact and some ideas which have smaller impact. And as a group, you can decide which of these initiatives to prioritize, what your company needs to do, and which targets you want to reach. To define goals for the company on how to become more sustainable. Once you've got the targets defined, then you can start the implementation plan. And that, of course, will be your plan for the next years to do. and will define all the initiatives, and especially for each of the initiatives, who will be responsible for this initiative. Because it can't be done by one person alone. It always needs those motivated people who then can execute it. In the end, there's one more step. And that will take place a while after you developed all the first steps. This will be to re-evaluate all the steps. Things may change, circumstances might change, your company might change, your customers might change. So you need to re-evaluate those steps every, let's say, year, every 2 years, in order to stay focused and to stay on track. It might be that some initiatives might not longer have the big impact you hope for, but that others might be much more important for you. So you need to be open to change that. I hope you could get something out of this, and if you did so, I would really appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel, and then you don't miss any future content. If you can refer this channel, that would also help me a lot. My plan is to reach as many companies as possible, to make as many companies as sustainable as possible. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe to it. Let's make this world more sustainable together, step by step.